Happy lunch hour, gang. Okay, still Thursday, still raining. Power went out for a while this morning. Thank God for solar. Helps. At least I didn't lose electricity, still had some light, still could make a cup of coffee. So World War III and economic collapse. Let's talk about that for a second. Anyone remember the Deagle report? You know, that report that came out about a decade ago that said what they were expecting to happen in the United States, right? Back on December 31st, 2017, they published their last update and their predictions of what the United States would look like in 2025, okay? In case you haven't looked at a calendar lately, that's 6 months away, okay? Back then, it was called a crazy conspiracy theory. Now they're just conspiracy theories or 6-month preludes to facts. Oh, 6 months again. Okay. Yeah, the crazy conspiracy theory that, the Associated Press, the mainstream media, all called, despite the fact that Deagle, their sources were, let's say, the Department of Defense, State Department, the CIA, the World Bank, the European Union, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. Yeah, okay. Just those sources. No big deal, all right? Deagle didn't paint exactly a rosy picture for the future of the United States. And the globalist media just brushed it off, right? Okay. It's funny which side's vision seems to be more probable these days, huh? Yeah, okay. You see, the war in Ukraine is showing no signs of ending, okay? Ukraine is now using, as you've probably seen in the news, U.S. weaponry, like the HIMARS system. With Joe's blessing now, we've removed the restrictions from what Ukraine can do with them. So they're now using U.S. weaponry to attack inside Russia. Okay, there's a great idea. How far do we go before Russia decides to use tactical nukes on Ukraine? God forbid, retaliate against the U.S. on our soil. Okay. Biden's provoking Russia into World War III. I hate to tell you this, but whoever fires first in a nuclear war has a better chance of winning a nuclear war. Whatever you consider winning a nuclear war is, okay? If Joe's that blind to think, oh yeah, it's just going to stay in Ukraine. Anybody want to buy a bridge? Okay. Then you take a look at the U.S. economically, all right? We're $34.8 trillion in debt as of this morning. And we're adding $1 trillion to that about every 3 months, okay? Job numbers came out. Contrary to what Biden's telling us, job creation is not happening. His, I've created 15 million jobs is complete bullshit, okay? Matter of fact, even the Wall Street Journal came out yesterday and said all of the jobs that have been created during Joe's presidency have been given to illegals. I've told you numerous times that since the day Joe was inaugurated, there are 78,000 less American citizens employed in the United States. So all these jobs that Joe's created have gone to illegals, and there's less of us working now, those of us who actually belong here, than were working 3.5 years ago, okay? Shall we go into inflation? I don't have to tell you. You've been to the gas station, the grocery store, bought a car, tried to buy a house, do anything lately? No, inflation is up drastically. This came out yesterday too. The world governments have now said we're not getting back to 2% inflation. I think the official number for world inflation right now is 2.7%, and there's no chance we're going back to 2. Just remind you when Obama said about Trump, what's he got, a magic wand? Yeah. Remember what happened to our GDP? Okay. Yeah. That was same idea there, okay? I want you to look at this. This is the Deagle forecast. Look in the upper right-hand corner here, and you will see the date. This is when they updated it on the 29th of December, 2017. Okay, so this was as of 2016 numbers. At the time, we had a population of 324 million people. We had a GDP of $19 trillion. Okay. We had a military budget of $612 billion. Take a look down at what their forecast was for 2025. Our population went to 54 million. That's only 270 million people less. Our GDP went to 921 billion. That's only $18 trillion less. Our military budget went to $8 billion. That's only $604 billion less. Okay? Deagle forecasted that we'd be a third world nation by the year 2025 economically. We're damn close, guys. I hate to tell you this. Our dollars are getting more and more and more worthless. Okay? Our military spending being forecast to drop from hundreds of billions of dollars to $8 billion in the year 2025, while our GDP was forecast to drop from 52,000 and change per capita to 13,000 and change per capita. That's a 75% drop, guys. Okay. Again, why would military spending be down? Well, guess what happens when you lose a war? Okay. Joe's going to get us into World War III, and we're going to lose again. Okay. How many people have faith in our military leadership? Remember, Obama got rid of all the battle-hardened generals and put all the woke generals in the Pentagon. Okay. You look at the Navy SEALs here a few days ago. They came out with their Pride Month banner to put up on Twitter and how proud the Navy SEALs are. Pretty soon they're going to be known as the Navy Squeals. Okay. You wonder why military spending would be down? Take a look at what happened to Germany after both World War I and World War II. Take a look at Japan after World War II. The rest of the world, the victors in the war, prohibited them from having a military. Okay? Are you getting the picture yet? The victors choose what happens to the losers. And Deagle figures we're going to be the losers. Deagle also forecasted that our GDP tumbled only $2.4 trillion by 2025, down from over $19 trillion in 2017 and $28.26 trillion that was reported last week. All right. Deagle was largely blaming, at the time, a future devastating economic event that was behind their forecast. Okay. And they also pointed out that global wars are usually the cause for economic devastation and have been throughout history. Well, let's add a global war on top of a Federal Reserve that's built on pixie sticks and bubble gum, you know, the full faith and credit of the United States. Honestly, how much faith do you have in our government? How much credit do we have left at $34.8 trillion in debt? If someone asked you right now, and you had to choose one of these two scenarios, that black or white, A or B, okay? Which one do you think is more probable? The Deagle report from 7 years ago, or the Biden administration claims? You know, we're the best economy in the world. You know, if your pile of shit is the least stinky, it's still a pile of shit. Okay. Which one of these scenarios would you believe? And sometimes you wonder why you prep. Imagine if Deagle is right. If 270 million people plus die in the United States, will you be one of them? Okay. If I die because I got vaporized by a Russian nuclear missile, so be it. Okay. At that point, I don't care. But I'll be damned if I'm going to die of starvation or dehydration or exposure to the elements or anything of the sort. That literally is food for thought. Have a good one. Pinball out.